And there's a shot earlier of the Jazz preparing for action. It's the Western Conference on display, featuring the Memphis Grizzlies. Welcome to what should be a great Saturday night for the NBA. With Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. And presented to you by State Farm, we'll take a quick look here at our opening lineups. And breaking down the game, let's now take a look here at Miracle Man.
Well, defensively, he's a ball hawk. I mean, that mixture of anticipation and quick, strong hands makes him a threat to pick off a basketball any time from a ball handler.
And I'll say something else, Steve. He is one of the most powerful finishers we have in this league. He takes it to the rack hard.
And back in Utah following the road trip, it's the Jazz on home turf. Right now, they have the 10th best record in the West. They need wins.
It's always fun to be at home, Kevin. Home sweet home is what I like to call it. But you know what? They've got a tough visitor in the house tonight. And just because they're at home doesn't mean a win is going to automatically show up on the scoreboard. They've got their work cut out for them against this opponent here.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want to start out a homestand against a team like this one. But the opportunity is there. They've got to go out and focus, play hard. If they play well and win, that'll be a major confidence booster for them. And how about the season Marc Gasol had a year ago, guys? He was terrific, made the All-Star team, excellent passer at the high post, but strong, could really go down on the block and shoot that jump hook as well.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
I caught up with Coach Tyrone Corbin. He brought up Marc Gasol, a kind of sleeper player he thinks could give them trouble. Coach said he's a guy 7 foot plus. He's very skilled, can shoot and finish over either shoulder, and he doesn't shy away from contact. He's a guy you have to really pay attention to. And I've told our guys, we can't let him have a big game. Fellas, we'll see how they do against him.
Thanks, Doris. And now, just over a minute played here in the first. And for Marc Gasol, 4 years younger than his four-time All-Star brother, Pau Gasol. You know, he's entering his prime. And now he's on pretty equal footing, I think, Clark, with his older brother.
Well, you know, he was the 48th pick back in 2007, and that's pretty strong company to be mentioned in with his brother Pau. So he's different. A bigger center. He's 7'1", 265, a little heavier, and seems to be more comfortable playing with his back to the basket.
And no defender was around him to influence that shot. It didn't hurt them there, but, you know, they can't make that mistake twice.
And good, count it. Before I forget, guys, what did you think about his comments in the press conference after the...
You know, the dunk was great, but I didn't care for that interior defense there, guys. It was non-existent.
You're right, Clark. You know, it was way too easy. I don't think the coach liked it either. Look at that face. Uh-oh.
It doesn't get much easier than that. They have got to tighten up their defense. That was embarrassing.
That was a nice replay. Brought to you by Stripes. This is his second trip to the free throw line.
You know, his performance at the foul line this season might be the first thing he points to as a priority to improve.
Looking at Memphis, they took the win in their last game against the Nuggets.
And, Kevin, in that game, we saw a lot of sloppy play from the opposing offense. They coughed the ball up way too often.
Yeah, and that did make things really easy, guys. Nice to get a win if you're on that side of it and not to have to work too hard for it.
Great job. Taking right at the defense. I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah, he left them no choice but to foul there.
The Jazz shooting their first free throws here for the night.
I tell you, the Jazz front office has done a really nice job in Utah. They drafted some excellent-looking young players in the last few years. Derek Favors, Cantor, Burks, Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
And these are guys who have bright futures in the NBA, and it's just a matter of them growing together.
Passes it to Arthur. Into Marc Gasol. Got a piece of it. Millsap with the steal. Fast break. Here come the Jazz. Foy with the ball. Here's Williams. Shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. The Grizzlies have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. No, Steve, you're right on the money. You see glimpses from this young group all the time. You figure it's just a matter of time before, Clark, the Jazz are too deep at every position. They've made great headway.
Yeah, they really have, Kevin. They look poised to me to return to the Western Conference power that they were for the better part of 2 decades. So I think it's a great job, terrific job, really, of bringing in some young talent and developing that talent.
And Bell kicks to Jefferson. Deflects the pass. He feeds it to Bell. No good. Now Memphis takes it the other way. Last time they met was in Utah, where they beat the Jazz.
They went up against an extremely passive defense in that game, Clark. That was something to watch.
Yeah, but trust me, Steve, they weren't complaining about it at all. I mean, you love to catch a team having an off night defensively.
Open look. Williams. And the officials call over the back. A little too aggressive there.
Well, he gave the officials no choice there.
Williams kicks to Jefferson. With the fadeaway. That is good.
He doesn't need to fade away on that move. He can go straight up, make it an easier shot.
Here's Miracle Man, and the 3 ball is good. Miracle Man's got 7.
He's as close to impossible to defend as anybody, I think. I mean, he can just torch the defense in so many ways.
And that concludes a back-and-forth, high-scoring first quarter of play.
Feel the excitement of NBA basketball.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. What do you guys think about the Jazz here in this one?
Well, the thing they tried to establish right away was the presence down low. You look at the points in the paint. I think that's been the difference.
Yeah, and I like the fact, Steve, that they're not settling for the outside shots. I mean, go in there and get what you want. Keep attacking the rim.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So, on the floor for Memphis, Miracle Man in at point guard. Quincy Pondexter out there with Tony Allen. Then it's Tony Roten. And it's Gasol at the center. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Hi, Kevin. Miracle Man in their last time out against the Nuggets played some outstanding basketball. He had 46 points, and he was able to dish out a few helpers to teammates as well. Just absolutely incredible numbers from him in a game you didn't want to miss. So glad we were here to watch it, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Doris. Not a huge surprise for him, Clark, to come out with such a mission-like attitude.
It really isn't. I mean, it's part of his mental fabric, which he likes to play with. A lot of his focus is required to deliver a game like he did.
Yeah, he likes those situations. He likes the pressure. He seems to thrive in those circumstances. And boy, he came up big. There's Tyrone Corbin in his second season as head coach of the Jazz. Before that, he'd spent 7 years as an assistant coach in Utah.
Fires the 3. Al Jefferson grabs the miss.
He just hasn't been able to build any momentum in this game. He's got to find something out there.
Going back to Tyrone Corbin, 16-year journeyman career as a player in the NBA. Played for 10 teams in all, the Utah Jazz among them.
Yeah, 3 years in Utah. He was always known as kind of a grinder. You know, every coach loved him because he played so hard. And, you know, those qualities, I think, translate well to the coaching ranks. Corbin knows how hard it is.
So for the Jazz, their last game, a loss to Oklahoma City.
And that game featured one of the least consistent offensive performances you're going to see from them, Clark.
Yeah, no spurt ability on display at all, fellas. I mean, they needed to make a few runs, but it just never was able to happen for him. He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
Marc Gasol is checked in for the Grizzlies.
You know, one thing I really like about Paul Millsap is he'll get you those extra possessions. I mean, he's got a tremendous nose for the ball. He's an outstanding rebounder in college, and he also gets you steals and offensive rebounds. He's a possession grabber for you.
No wonder Jerry Sloan liked him so much when he brought him into the league.
Shooting-wise, he's having a tough quarter. I mean, he just seems to have gone cold, can't find the basket.
1:30 left in the first half of the game. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
And Voigt kicks to Millsap. And that one's good. Millsap's got 8 here in the quarter. Clark, you touched on Millsap getting those extra possessions. He also is a very good passer. The guy who's careless with the ball, so he helps limit your turnovers as well. Great quality to have, Steve.
Yeah, and anytime you have a big who can pass, it really opens up your offense and gives you some options in terms of your execution. So I like Millsap, an excellent all-around player who plays with big energy.
And out of bounds as the Jazz gain possession. And now let's bring you the list of the top three-point shooting teams over the course of the past 10 games. Number 1, the Grizzlies.
They've been really pleased, Kevin, with their three-point game. It's working better for them thanks to some adjustments they've made in their transition game.
Jamal Tinsley's checked in for the Jazz. He kicks to Foy. That's in there. Tinsley with the assist. Foy's got 5 points so far. Here's Miracle Man. Uses both hands to slam it down.
And for a point guard, you love LUV, that finish. Wow.
Yeah, he's really been able to get off his feet and sky. Something to watch.
Incredible athleticism, both laterally and vertically.
We've got 28 seconds left to play in the first half. Goes up, and Jefferson throws it down.
The defense just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah, the D pretty much went brain neutral on that one, Clark. Wouldn't
yes,
you?
Sir. I like that phrase.
Yeah, I don't use that phrase very often, but to me, that's what happened. He shifted the brain into neutral.
Yes, he did.
That was embarrassing.
He's up against Gasol. It's a look. Jefferson's shot is off. Here's Miracle Man. And again, it's the Grizzlies from deep.
Tell you what, he's draining the three ball at will, guys.
Yeah, he is, and they've got to find a way to get out there on it.
The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime.
Now, presented by Sprint.
So good to have you along on 2K Sports as the season nears its end. Let's check out what's going on. Memphis on top against Utah. Easy to see why they've been piling up the wins lately. They're really on a roll. Miracle Man not having any problems out there. His shooting percentage is right at the 60 mark. He is feeling it tonight.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, anything can happen. Miracle Man having a dominant impact in this game.
The way he's moved through the defense so far through 2 quarters, it's like everybody but him is in slow motion.
Well, he's just that quick going to the basket, Steve. I mean, the help defense just isn't getting there in time, and he's been able to finish.
At the 4 and 5, Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson. Mo Williams out there with Foy, and it's Bell in at the 3 slot. That's the 5 on the floor for the Jazz. Dishes it to Foy. Back to Williams. Goes up on the high post, and he drops that one in. Williams has got 4 points this quarter, and the Grizzlies leading by 12.
Mo Williams, a former second-round pick out of Alabama. He's had a really nice career when you think about it. Excellent shooter, so he's pretty good from mid-range and beyond.
Foy. Millsap a screen on Allen. Shot off the pick. Tries again. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
One of the reasons Paul Millsap dropped in the draft years ago when he came out of college was people questioned his size, but what they should have been paying attention to was his heart, because this guy plays as hard as anybody in the league. Just knows where the ball's going. He anticipates it off the glass, and then he's got the will to go and get it.
He'll do the dirty work for you at both ends, and his hands are really quick. I mean, he's a guy that can create deflections and get steals because of his activity with his hands and with that strong body of his.
Gay passes to Allen. Some nice passing there by Memphis. That drops. Miracle Man's got 28 points for the game.
And guys, you talk about a player like Mo Williams. Star players love a guy who can spread the floor for them. In other words, a guy who can knock down perimeter shots, whose defenders can't help off of him. And when you have a guy like Mo Williams who can shoot it that way, he's always enjoyable to play with.
Here's Jefferson. Another shot. In deep, Millsap drops it in. Millsap's got 16.
He made that offensive rebound count. Nice job collecting the second chance points.
And another basket for Memphis.
Anytime they've needed a hoop, he's taken over one shot after another. Boy, is he playing well.
Williams kicks to Bell. And the pass to Millsap. And that one's good. He's got 18.
No question about it, guys. He's been one of their best performers today.
Here's Miracle Man. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will take it. On your screen now is the 2K leaderboard showing us the leaders in blocks in the second half of the NBA season. Marc Gasol on top.
He's been protecting the rim as well as anybody in the NBA during that time.
A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. There's the dish to Foy. Picked his pocket. Jumps up. Finishes the break with a slam.
I'm not sure which was better, the fast break or the steal that got it started.
I think it was the defense, Steve, quite honestly. I mean, the whole play isn't even possible if he doesn't make the steal.
Outside Williams. Feeds to Millsap. Arthur's there. It's blocked. Allen outside. Here's Miracle Man. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now.
And he's been a consistent shooter at the line for them this season, shooting about 78%.
So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Enes Kanter's checked in for Jefferson. Favors comes in for Paul Millsap. Marvin Williams is checked in for Raja Bell. And Alec Burks subbed in for Randy Ford. And the Grizzlies also with a sub. Michael Conley, he's checked in for Tony Allen. Favors dishes to Kanter. That's good.
They continue to barrel their way inside, and when's the defense going to adjust?
Well, I'm asking the same question myself, partner. I mean, that's 8 points out of their last 10 coming inside.
Lets it go from the wing. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And no question, he got bumped on that shot.
Definitely no room for discussion on that one.
And the Jazz with some changes. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Enes Kanter. Foy comes in for Alec Burks. And Jamal Tinsley is subbed in for Mo Williams. Tony Allen's checked in for Memphis. Bayless comes in for Michael Conley. He dishes it to Foy. Now Tinsley. Williams up on top. To the middle. Kicks it to Foy. Wide open look. Allen with the rebound. Allen's got his 3rd rebound tonight.
Tony Allen out of Oklahoma State, one of the premier perimeter defenders in the league. Maybe the best one, actually, because he's athletic, aggressive, tenacious, really gets under your skin and puts tremendous pressure on you defensively every night.
The feed to Foy. Fires from deep. It's rebounded by Memphis. And after this one, they're home against Minnesota. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home.
I know I'll be looking out for the final score in that Timberwolves game. That should be a close game.
And, you know, getting back to Allen, he's top 5 in steals last season. And I love his pit bull mentality. This is a guy that he latches on defensively, and he never lets you out of his grasp. I love the way he gets after people.
Here's Miracle Man. Passes to Bayless. Pass to Gay. Here's Miracle Man. Offline with his 3.
And if they know what's good for him, that's the way they'll defend against him every time he takes the ball into 3-point territory.
Well, you're right. Anything less than airtight defense on him will usually result in 3 points.
Points in the paint have been the main course, or main entree, if you will. They just keep pounding it inside.
Well, they're seeing no resistance defensively in the paint area, so the defense has got to be tougher. It's been a tale of 2 halves. Our guys, he was on fire from long range in the first half, but not so much here in the second.
Williams. That's in there. Tinsley with the assist. Williams has got 4 points now in the... Second minute off the clock now in the 4th. So on the floor for Memphis. Miracle Man in at shooting guard. Rudy Gay is out there with Arthur. And it's Marc Gasol. And it's Conley in at the point.
At his size, he can really finish at the rim.
Yeah, and not just layups, as you just saw, folks. Wow.
Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, able to throw it down with ease.
Millsap kicks to Foy. Got it. Good job in the low post.
Great move to get to the bucket and lay that one in. He's got the softest touch around the basket. Impressive.
Jumps up, and easy 2 points on the layup. Miracle Man's got 41.
Oh, a nice little trend developing here, fellas. I mean, that's 8 of their last 10 from inside the paint.
Yeah, they're getting high percentage looks down there. Their offense is really clicking. I don't see why they wouldn't just continue to pound the ball inside.
Shoots from the high post. Williams can't get it to go.
And this is why they have the big lead. The rebounding has been dominant.
You know, guys, the +8 rebounding, I don't think it tells the whole story. I mean, they've been the more physical team from the outset. That's been the difference, their physicality.
Jazz passing it around, and Voigt kicks to Williams. Kept alive. Here's Favors. The third shot of the possession finally falls for him.
They are in attack mode right now. That's 10 straight points, guys, all coming inside the paint.
And Steve, if I'm them, I'd keep going right to the heart of that defense like they have been until they do something about it. If they don't offer resistance, take everything you can get in there. Boy, he took that defender head on and threw down the two-hander power jam.
Straight power there, guys.
Well, you got to love his determination. You know, the way it usually goes is if you're in the NBA, you were probably the best player on your team in college. But there are some exceptions to that. And there have been quite a few NBA stars that weren't even considered the best player on their college teams. Kevin Love is a name that jumps out.
No coverage that time.
Well, what's great about him, guys, is that even with the smallest amount of space, he can rise up and just bury the jump shot from long range.
And you've got to respect his willingness to give up his body. Step in, absorb the contact, and put his body on the line to draw charges. That's definitely one of his specialties.
Williams kicks to Foy. He passes to Millsap. And it's rejected. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will retain possession. Al Jefferson is checked in for Derek Favors. And Memphis also making a switch. Tony Allen's checked in for Mike Conley. On the inbound, puts it up off the inbound. And there's Al Jefferson on the assist by Bell. 10 points for Al Jefferson. As you mentioned, Steve, Kevin Love overshadowed a bit on his UCLA team by Darren Collison. But he certainly has blossomed.
Well, I think that's going to be the case with a lot of young freshmen who come into the NBA based on potential more than production. They don't get a chance to prove that they're the best player on the floor. So you have to sort of predict that they actually were the best player on the floor, that they were going to become that. And that's why a guy like Love was, even though he wasn't, the guy at UCLA, you could tell he was about to become that.
And the basket good.
What a quarter for him, and with this lead, I mean, they might as well just ride him the rest of the night.
Let's go.
Right side, Williams. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
How about the game for Mo Williams? He has 15 points, and he's made some good decisions with the basketball, too.
Well, being smart is what it's all about for him, Clark. I mean, he's a decision maker. He's a playmaker. He has to make good decisions. That's what he's doing here so far.
Looking at who's out there now for the Jazz. Ennis Kanter's checked in for Jefferson. Williams comes in for Paul Millsap. Alec Burks checked in for Randy Foy. And Earl Watson is subbed in for Raja Bell.
Well, one of the rule changes that the league has implemented recently, you see those pump fakes where the defender jumps in the air and then the offensive player jumps into him and heaves the ball at the basket. That's not supposed to be a shooting foul anymore.
Gordon Hayward's checked in for Utah. Going back to that change that Clark just talked about, Steve, on that play, it's only supposed to be a foul if the player has started the shooting motion at the time of contact.
Yeah, and I actually haven't seen a huge change in the way the game is whistled in that regard. But I do like the fact that the officials have the leeway to not reward a guy for making, kind of a really awkward play that really isn't that related to the game of basketball.
Here's Miracle Man. The Grizzlies with another miss.
I'll tell you what, the defense has nothing to worry about. Ammonia strong finish right there, partner. You hear me? That was ammonia strong.
Yeah, ripped it down with two hands.
That's about as high percentage as you can get.
And that last replay, courtesy of Sprite, trains the three-pointer. Miracle Man's got 51.
I think we can chalk this one up. The goal now is just to run some time.
Yeah, I think it's time to get the bus started now, boys.
Here's Burks. It's good, and Watson picking up the assist.
They could have used this run a while ago. It may not make much difference now.
Yeah, they hit that snooze button a little too much because they showed up late to this game.
Here's Miracle Man beyond the arc. Can't get it to go. So no problem for Memphis as they get the win. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Miracle Man.
You ran up 51 points. Just unbelievable the way you were able to dominate offensively out there. Would you say this was one of your better games as a pro?
Anytime you can drop over 50, there's a pretty good chance it was one of your better games. So, yeah, I'd say tonight's game qualifies. Everything just felt good, you know? My shot was falling. I was getting the ball in the right spots. I was able to create a fair amount on my own. And, of course, we won the game. Can't ask for much more than that.